On this episode of the Nerdiest podcast, we're going to be talking about whether or not streaming is actually worth it, diving into the past, present, and future of streaming, and we're also going to be talking about some news that we've missed over the past couple weeks, so you're not going to want to miss it. Hello and welcome back to the Nerdiest podcast, the show where nerds talk about nerdy things. I'm your host with the most, who's always sleep-deprived, Mr. Nick Barrett, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my ride or die, Mr. Jackson Glass. And today, as I mentioned in the little intro there, we are going to be talking about, is streaming actually worth it? And we're going to get into that in a little bit, talk about the past, present, and future of streaming, and just what that looks like in our current streaming market and streaming economy. But we're also going to be talking about some news that we've missed because we've, had a long break in recording because we had to pre-record some. And then our last episode, we were really focused on Digital Circus. So that's going to give us some time to catch up on the news, catch up on all of that, and then talk about streaming. But before all of that, Jackson, how you been? It's been 2 weeks.
Man, it has been 2 weeks. I'm going to say I've been pretty good. My news for the week is that I had to increase my coffee budget. And I thought that I was running... Originally, I wrote about $30 a month for coffee, and let's just say that I was going over that.
Whoa.
And so I increased the budget and decreased my dosage. So I feel great.
How does
Let
that
me
work?
tell you...
What do you mean increase the budget, decrease the dosage? Like, are you just getting more
it's
coffee
kinda
at
like
a lower caffeine rate?
No, I'm taking less coffee and spending more money. So here's the thing. It's like a double homicide. So if I spend a little more money, and consume a little less every day, that's just extra more and more. That's called living beneath your means.
I don't think that's entirely correct.
Well, it's at least partially correct.
Okay.
I have more to add for a weekly recap. I have a few crazy stories. But Mr. Nick, how are you today?
You know what? I'm alive. Okay? That's all I can say.
That's all we can ask for. That's all we can ask for.
I also have some stuff I'll talk about in my weekly recap, including I am fresh out of the theater from seeing the hit movie Tron Ares. So I'll give a little mini review as part of my weekly
as in
recap.
like getting hit by a bus, maybe.
Yeah,
but yes.
Listen. Here, I'll tease you with this. It's not the worst movie with Jared Leto as the main character that I have seen.
But what does that say?
I mean, the bar's on the floor. It's not like an incredibly high bar of quality, but it is something.
My favorite meme from the week was the original Tron poster, and it was the guy and the girl, and then the Tron Legacy poster, and it was the guy and the girl, and then the Tron Ares poster, and it was just Jared Leto. And they were like, even though it broke tradition, they didn't have a beautiful woman hugging Jared Leto in the movie poster because they couldn't find one who was willing to go within a few feet of him.
Which is funny because they did for Morbius, but Tron,
no, they did.
No,
not. Nah,
that was
it's Tron in time.
Yep. No, thank you.
Say. But so we're gonna jump into some news.
Little news
that we have missed over the last few weeks.
I'm just gonna rapid fire through these first three. You can give me some thoughts, feelings, opinions. A couple weeks ago, about a month ago actually, we got our first trailer and first look at the Super Mario Galaxy movie. It is not called the Super Mario Bros. Movie 2. It is not called the Super Mario World movie. It is the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which implies that Rosalina will be there. So, give me your hot take. Who do you think is going to play Rosalina?
Can I give what I think is going to happen even though I don't want it to?
Absolutely.
I think we're going to see a Sydney Sweeney in the Mario Galaxy movie.
Okay.
I don't think I want that. I don't necessarily have a second cast. I don't necessarily have like an alternative pick. But my take, I think we're going to see some Sydney Sweeney. I think we're gonna see some Florence Pugh. I think we're gonna see like young blonde female, essentially, is the genre of person we are looking for Rosalina.
All right.
And I understand it is a voice actor. I don't care. You sound blonde. Next.
Yeah, it was interesting in the direct they talked about like having it like they were essentially like, it's not a Mario Galaxy movie. It's
Right.
just we're calling it that because I guess we're going to space, and they're like, but
And
it'll be
it's-
great for fans of every Mario game. And I'm like, yeah, but like you're doing that thing again where the first movie really struggled with this, where you're being over general. You're trying to put too much in here. And like a Mario Galaxy movie implies like, is Donkey Kong not going to be in this one?
Right.
Like, is he just going to stay back and chill out? And we get if we could trade out Donkey Kong for Luigi, I'm in.
Listen,
I'm
it's
sold.
over.
We did not get
Just
enough
put
Luigi in the
back
first movie.
Not enough Luigi. I think that also it's kind of a crime because Mario Galaxy is kind of notorious for its amazing story. So if we're just throwing that out the window and we're just being like, yeah, but we'd rather do a clip show of your favorite moments from this game you're nostalgic of. But it's interesting because I feel like your first Super Mario movie was very targeted towards an 80s, 90s nostalgia, where this is much more targeted towards a 2000s nostalgia.
Yep.
2010s nostalgia for more our generation. Do you think that that's a common theme that we're seeing? Like, I saw this really interesting take where they were like, live action remakes are changing because we're no longer reaching for the 80s, 90s. We're pulling the middle to older Gen Z, trying to pull on the 2000s nostalgia. What do you think of that?
I think that could be part of it. I also think Nintendo, like, they have a clear marketing plan here, like a marketing scheme.
They know.
Because they put out Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 on Switch, which I got Mario Galaxy 2. I streamed the first little bit of it on the podcast channel. Hey, guys, subscribe on YouTube to see us live stream stuff at a certain point in time. But they're very clearly... They brought those ports back out because they were doing the Mario Galaxy movie.
Right. They knew. And
they know that, like, we might not get a lot of sales now, but having them on the shelf in April... It's gonna be pretty killer.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be pretty.
It's gonna be pretty killer. And I think that you're also gonna get a ton of people that never got to play it on the Wii, that are like, oh, it's gonna. Did you never play it on the Wii?
So I played Galaxy 1 on the Wii, and then I played Galaxy 1 as part of 3D All Stars. It's the only one out of the 3D All Stars that I actually cared to finish, and I've never played Galaxy 2. So playing it on Switch, which everyone's so like, good. Why is it $40 for a Wii game? All right, guys, shut up. I don't care. Like, I will not be gaslit and bullied into not enjoying games because you think I should spend my money differently. Get off my back. You don't want to buy it? Don't buy it. All right? I want to buy it. I've never played Mario Galaxy 2. I'm okay with paying $40 to get that game in 4K on my brand new Switch 2. All right? Let's move on.
No one has a gun to your head.
Nobody,
no
like,
one
guys,
is forcing you.
No one's gonna hurt. No one's gonna hurt you for buying Mario Galaxy 2. Okay, it's okay. And
no one's gonna hurt you for not buying it.
I do think they're gonna lean into it for our generation a little more.
I do.
Just given the game moving this way, if I had to pick a little surprise cast for Rosalina, I'm gonna say Sabrina Carpenter. I think Sabrina Carpenter could be a good pick.
Young blonde female.
But she also loves Nintendo. Because, she had
That's
that
true.
In Espresso. She's like switching it up like Nintendo.
Like Nintendo.
So I think they might like reach out to her and get her in there and be like, hey, you want to...
But here's the thing, though. Like, she could actually do some music for it, too.
True.
And I wouldn't be mad. Sabrina Carpenter is such a bizarre, like, character to me because it's like, and this is a news point, it's not on there, but I'll bring it up. They were like, Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg, and Sabrina Carpenter are doing a new Muppet special on Disney Plus.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And I'm like, okay, but I know what you're thinking. Doesn't Sabrina Carpenter make the musical equivalent of young adult smut novels? Yes, she does. But like, she could also jump into the Muppets or Mario Galaxy. Like, what is this range?
I was going to say, that's the only reason Nintendo might not, because she doesn't entirely fit the family-friendly brand. But I guess Seth Rogen doesn't really either, and they got him as Donkey Kong. So I don't know.
He's in Donkey Kong, so I don't know.
That comes out in April?
April?
I'm going to find a date.
I'm hyped. I'm actually really excited because I love Mario Galaxy, and I think that the soundtrack alone is going to put me in a theater seat.
April 3rd. It's Easter weekend again. I remember looking this up.
That's criminal.
We do not have an episode that following Monday, so it'll be extra.
Not yet.
So stay tuned. We will be talking about the Mario Galaxy movie in the future.
I'm hyped. Moving on, The Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. Some initial thoughts.
Because
I certainly have some.
Like a movie.
Does it though?
So
does it look like a movie?
Funny.
Was this supposed to be a show?
I think this was supposed to be season 4. Well, maybe not. Because they'd always talked about doing a live action movie. Listen, maybe this is just me lowering my standards too much. I'm just excited we get another Star Wars movie in the theater. Like,
yeah, same.
If I had to, like, if that's the hill I gotta die on, right? Like, I'm just excited to go see Star Wars in the theater.
Literally.
I watched the trailer. They played it again before Tron, and I mean, it looks fine. But I think it's going to suffer from a lot of the same problems that the Book of Boba Fett and Mando season 3. I think it was 2 or 3. No, 2 was very plot focused. 3 kind of felt all over the place. Where there's not really a through line.
There's not a clear idea of what we're doing.
Essentially, to going back to whatever we were doing at the end of season 3. And bridging the gap between season 3 and season 4, and then season 4 and all the like combo stuff with Ahsoka in the second season of that, and the next movie for that. So, I mean, it looks fine. I think it's just gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be like the greatest thing since sliced bread.
No,
but it's gonna be a Star Wars movie.
I think it's gonna be kind of a nothing burger, if I'm honest, because I think I agree. I really, really want Star Wars back in the theater, but I'm kind of like, but not like this. Like, last time I saw Star Wars in the theater was Rise of Skywalker, and I'm just like, I'm like Michael Scott. I'm like, all right, okay, no doubt about it. I'm ready to get hurt again, and so I'm not super hopeful. Can I just nitpick something really quick about the trailer? The very end, what on earth is that title card?
The Mandalorian and Grogu?
Yeah, no, but like, have you seen the text? It looks like it's out of the original Buzz Lightyear ride in Tomorrowland.
Hold on, let me look this up real quick.
Like, they looked at the 3D text like effect in After Effects and thought that was the move. If you haven't seen it, please go look up the title card for this movie.
I think it looks fine.
I think it looks bad. I see the vision, like I see they're trying to do the like retro space thing, but it's just not. It's not Star Wars to me.
Some of these comments are really funny on the trailer. Somehow Razor Crest returned. I'm glad Pedro is getting work again. Feels like it's been a few days since his last performance.
That's crazy.
Wow, I wish I felt anything.
That's crazy. Just looks like one episode of the show.
Grogu is certainly doing a variety of things in this movie. That's my favorite one, is like, I don't know. Some of it looks like it could be really cool. Like there are some really cool like action set pieces and action movements. But I think the bigger problem, which is very valid and justified, is that the Razor Crest is back. His bow staff is back. Like the Mandalorian doesn't seemingly have any consequences for anything that happens. Which I don't know. I don't know.
We'll definitely be covering it. I'm definitely gonna see it, but I'm just kind of like I'm expecting like a 3 out of 5. I'll be like, yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it'll be like, it was all right. It was certainly
it'll be
something.
Like, it was a Star Wars movie.
It sure was a Star Wars movie.
This
What
is one of
happened
the
to a
Star Wars movies
story?
of all time.
Remember when they were running with that branding for a little bit?
Yeah.
And then, like, they ruined it of their own volition where they were like,
yeah.
Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Incredible movie. So much so that it got 2 seasons of another spin-off TV show.
Right. 10 out of 10.
Solo, a Star Wars story. Yeah, let's put that out 5 months after our last Star Wars movie. When the one that everyone hated, by the way. So now nobody wants to go see this one, so we're going to kill it intentionally.
No one wants to see a Star Wars story.
Yeah,
we
so
don't
nobody
needs to do.
we don't need to do Star Wars story anymore. We're just actually going to pull all of our movies forever.
Anyway, so update to follow on that one. Nick, this next point hits a little close to home for you. So
it sure does. Demon Slayer Infinity Castle Part 1 is now in the top 10 highest grossing films of 2025. It is actually currently at number 6, on pace to surpass How to Train Your Dragon and get in the top 5 because they got cleared to release the movie in China. Ufotable
so
actually did a cut of the movie where, like, Mitsuri's top is, like, buttoned up and, like, they censored a lot of the stuff that was okay in other regions. And
I want to see that version.
They are good to release it in China and India, which are 2 like massive markets. So I wouldn't be shocked if it landed a little closer to 800 when it's all said and done. It's made $634 million.
That's so insane.
I just want to say it made so much motion that President Trump was like, you know what? Foreign films are killing the American film industry. And I'm like, that's not the foreign films' fault. That's our fault for making bad movies.
What's that Eric Andre meme where he, like, shoots Hannibal and he goes, why would you do this?
What? Bang, shoot Psyduck. How could the foreign films do that? No, it was you. Like, oh my goodness. I won't go down the rabbit hole of that whole tariff thing because it's stupid. But yeah, no, that's really exciting.
But that's awesome.
And
and then on the American front. The Minecraft movie 2. We'll return to the mines. What on earth are we doing? What are we doing on a second Minecraft movie?
Well, we haven't gone to the end yet. You know, all the things I complained about from the first movie that didn't get done that should have gotten done. Well, they're probably not going to do that.
No.
Why would we go fight the Ender Dragon? Why would we go back to the Nether? I'm sorry, the Nether. No. The end. The Ender Dragon.
Here's my question. So Minecraft Movie 2, is this going to be like a Morbius re-release thing where they're like, hey guys, remember when we did that really funny thing? Do it again. This is funny. Or do you think it's going to be like actually like kind of good?
No, I think they're going to intentionally try to recreate the chicken jockey thing, and it's going to fail spectacularly. Because they're going to try to force it. That was the problem, is they like unironically thought that Chicken Jockey was funny. Or wasn't funny. And that's what made it funny. You know, if I had to make like one nitpick, I really wish they got Robert Rodriguez to do the Minecraft movies. Because at least then they would be really entertaining. You know what I mean?
No, that would go crazy.
Like, that would be great, but they won't. I'm interested to see, because spoilers for the Minecraft movie, by the way. The end credit scene, they cliffhangered and teased Alex, who's now living in Steve's house. So, one, I'm interested to see who they have playing Alex, because it's not guaranteed to be whoever played her in the end credit scene.
Right.
Because we didn't see her face, and I think that was intentional.
So they could decide later.
I'm interested to see how that dynamic changes. Celebrity guesting, who's playing Alex?
It's gonna be some.
It's gotta be a ginger.
It's gotta be some crackhead pick that we just like.
What's the name of that?
Never gonna see coming.
What's the name of the ginger from Stranger Things?
Oh, Sadie Sink.
Yeah, is she old enough
to
go on par with Jack Black?
She's too young.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
It's gonna be like. It's gonna be like
pick.
Emma Stone.
Oh, true.
Like Bryce. Can you imagine Emma Stone in the Minecraft? Can you imagine Emma Stone in the Minecraft movie?
Emma Stone and Jack Black. Dude,
She
that
would do
go
it
crazy.
though. Okay, can I give a more realistic pick though?
Sure.
I'm putting in a bid for Amy Adams.
Do you
This
think
is
she's
kind
too
of her
old?
realm. I don't know. It's not like Jack Black is young.
I mean, that's true. Steve did have gray hair. Jack Black's 56.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Whoa.
He's old. I feel like
Amy Adams is 51. Okay.
I feel like Amy Adams could do it.
I don't think she should.
I don't know if she. Well, we shouldn't even have a second movie. But here we are. Speaking of second movie, they also just announced a Simpsons movie 2, which will be coming out the exact same release day as the Minecraft movie 2.
We live in such an awful timeline. No wonder the foreign films are kicking.
we
our
live
behind.
we live in the darkest timeline.
We do.
The way that we're like, oh, what movie's gonna do better? A Minecraft movie 2 or the Simpsons movie 2? And I'm like, please release me. Like, please let me wake up from this post-capitalistic nightmare.
Real.
I don't really have a comment on the Simpsons movie 2. I just thought it was interesting that we are now putting sequels against each other as a theater event.
I mean, we got to bring it back to the theater somehow. You just dropped a video on it.
I did just drop a movie theater video. But this is
Tell
this
me,
is not
movie
what I
theater
meant.
man. This
This
is
is
how we're
not
going to
what
save
I
Hollywood.
meant.
What are you talking about?
No, we're gonna save Hollywood by creating events and operating movie theaters operating as a community space.
No, actually, lies. You know how we're going to save Hollywood? Let me tell you. Okay. Came out this week in an interview. This is the next news point. Ridley Scott says he wants to embrace AI and actually use it in animation. Quote, you can have done in a week what would take 10 guys 10 weeks. So I think that's how we're going to save Hollywood.
Yeah,
is
you're
we're
right.
just going to
You're
outsource.
right.
Have you seen the Sora 2 stuff that came out in the last week
Yeah.
of all the anime
Yeah.
stuff? And the
Yeah.
weird clips, dude, I hate it so much. I'm
My
you know
my
what? It's fine.
favorite my entire Instagram feed right now is just like people messing with Sora AI stuff. But it's like Stephen Hawking at the X Games.
Yeah,
like
or it's
just
Bob Ross
ripping a
playing
half
Call
pipe.
of Duty.
Right. Or it's like I saw this really I was mad, this made me laugh, but it was Elvis performing and he went, "Oh, screw this, I'm gonna play Fortnite." And then he left. And then he hops on Fortnite and gets a dub. And I was like, this is actually so bad for my brain.
You know what frustrates me the most? Is that people just type some words into those things, get a video, just rip the video, upload it to TikTok and YouTube Shorts and all that. They get paid. They
That's
get paid
it.
a lot of money. I got to
Yeah.
sit here, go work my 9 to 5, come
Yep.
home, edit a full podcast episode, record it, do all the scripting, do all that, put it all out. Couple hundred views. Don't
Did
get
you
paid.
see that this week there was this someone started a rumor that Dolly Parton was dying? This was a thing where apparently Dolly was like under the weather, was just sick. So her sister sent out a tweet that was like, "Hey guys, just keep Dolly in your prayers, whatever." And then someone made this AI image of Reba McEntire next to Dolly's hospital bed. And it looked really real. And everyone was like, what? Like, no. And they both made this whole video that was like, no, that's stupid. So
we need to regulate AI. I know that's like a super oh my gosh, let's think about the ramifications. But that was the only thing I was thinking about this week was hold on guys, let's pump the brakes. Maybe we should put some kind of we can't use real
some
people,
kind of
some
kind of tax. Also, do we think that maybe Ridley Scott is saying that because he's a little salty that no one has liked any of the movies he's made in the last 10 years?
So
because Ridley Scott, I remember when The Last Duel came out and no one liked it, and he was like, well, maybe if you weren't so addicted to your phones, then you could sit and actually watch a good movie. And now he's like, hey, we need to be innovating the AI. And I'm like, shut up.
I'm just so excited because I feel so vindicated now. Because in college, I was obviously I'm the anti-film bro. Like, I was not, oh, Ridley Scott, such a pioneer in this industry, blah, 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 excuse me. And now I'm like, I just feel vindicated because like every director under the sun that these people were praising is now like, yeah, we should embrace AI, like freaking James Cameron. I'm like, I feel just more justified in not glazing these people. Like, they're just a bunch of like Hollywood wash-ups. Like they're the reason that foreign films are destroying our movie industry because you're gonna sit here and say, well, we could hand draw all of this Demon Slayer stuff and give really, impressive animation and impressive all the stuff that real people did. Or we could go to Sora 2 and type some words on a keyboard and bada bing, bada boom. Just a thought.
Yeah.
So, another director down the can. Oh, I almost
not again.
Skipped the last.
Not again.
All right.
Diva down.
Last news point here.
Last news point. Praise the Lord. There is good news. Never kill yourself. Digital Circus episode 7 and 8 dates announced.
Release dates, baby.
And you know what? Episode 7 comes out on my freaking birthday. Best gift I could have ever asked for. Thank you very much.
Episode 7, December 12th. Episode 8, March 20th, 2026. Episode 7 is a beach episode, which feels vindicating because on the last episode we talked about like
having
I hope they go outside the tent. And like they wouldn't set up all this stuff outside the tent if we weren't going to go there. Mm-hmm. So that's exciting.
Hype. I'm hype. I'm really hype. We will be covering.
We will be covering. Indeed, we will.
Keep an eye out.
Season ender there, right there.
Whew, crazy. So, yes, those are our news topics for the day, but we also have a mini movie review from Mr. Nick. Mr. Nick, please tell me your experience on the new hit film, Tron Ares.
It certainly did hit me. So, for proper context, just so everybody knows, I've never seen Tron Legacy. I went and saw Ares with one of my friends today, and him and I were on Discord, and he showed me a YouTube poop of Tron Legacy, and then proceeded to explain the rest of the gaps. Now, I thought it would be somewhat important to watch Tron Legacy before watching Tron Ares, and my friend did too, only for us to find out that that was not the case. Pretty much anything left over in Tron Legacy was not wrapped up or continued upon in this movie at all.
Sweet.
So I was like, okay, well, I don't feel as bad about not watching Legacy now. And it actually kind of makes me want to go watch Legacy because everyone says that's a good movie. So I'm like, okay, well, there is a good Tron movie out there.
It is pretty good.
And what I will say is this Jared Leto's worst performance? No. I do think his performance in Morbius was a little better.
No!
Just because in Tron Ares, they put like this weird synth voice on him where it's not his voice. It is his voice. Like he's talking, but they put like this weird like filter on it so it doesn't sound like him.
Why?
But it does sound like it. It's weird. And the whole premise of the movie is he's an AI designed to be like master control security, and then there's weird romantic tension between him and this girl. So there is a girl in the movie they got to get close enough to Jared Leto, but they couldn't, I guess, convince her to do the romance subplot that was very clearly hinted that it was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And got cut at some point. There were a couple scenes where I'm like, am I brain rotted to seeing relationships? Right. Or is this like, is there tension here?
Is there supposed
that like
to be
she
something?
wants to kiss him? Like, what, am I missing something? So overall, it was kind of forgettable. Like, I'm like, I will walk away from this, and I mean, it's fighting for the worst movie I've seen. I think it might be the worst movie I've seen because at least a Minecraft movie was entertaining.
Like this year?
Yeah. Like, I don't. here's the thing. Tron was good. It had good visuals. The soundtrack by Nine Inch Nails actually wasn't that bad. I really enjoyed it. I thought it felt like it had similar Daft Punky vibes, but it wasn't Daft Punk. Like, they kind of had to go the next route.
Yeah.
But even then, my friend was like, well, there's better, like, EDM synth bands you could have gotten for that. Like, you did not have... Nine Inch Nails was not the only option for you.
Right.
So there was that. I mean, like I said, the visuals were good. The direction was kind of all right.
Yeah.
That's the problem, is like, I really like the premise of Tron. Like, I like the world and the tech and all of that stuff that comes with it, but I just don't think the movie was very good. And in comparison to like a Minecraft movie, I don't think that movie was very good. But at least I was laughing and I was entertained, and I felt like halfway through the movie I needed to pee, and I was going to hold it to finish watching the Minecraft movie because I didn't want to miss Chicken Jockey. I got up during Tron Ares. I walked back in the theater and I said, "What I missed?" My friend was like, "Not much.
Not much.
The computer went from here to there." It does feel like a very topical movie because the whole premise is like,
it's like anti-AI.
well, it's not anti-AI. It's just, what can we use AI for? And what's the better way to use it? And like, because the one guy is like, well, I want to use it to make weapons of mass destruction. And the other girl is like, well, I want to use it to 3D print trees and plant trees in Africa to, you know, feed people and medical advancement. So it's kind of like, do we want to use it for war and killing people, or do we want to use it to help people? Which I think is an interesting question.
How extreme can our examples be?
Right. Like it's like, do you want to kill people, or do you want to heal sick kids in Africa? It's like, okay, whoa.
Like,
where's the nuance?
Coughing baby versus nitrogen bomb.
Yeah.
And you're like, huh?
So I thought the message, it wasn't heavy-handed in the same way like Avatar had a really heavy-handed message to it. I think it's really relevant, though.
Yeah.
And it does make you wonder, like, should we be using AI for scanning, like, all this stuff? And I think it's interesting. There was a trailer for a movie, I don't know if you've seen it. It's called Mercy with Chris Pratt.
Mercy with Chris Pratt.
And how it's like the AI, like, knows everything about him and is judge, jury, and executioner of this like trial. And I'm like, dude, that's just gonna be us in like 5 years. Like,
right? No, literally,
we're just gonna, the AI is gonna be like, well, your sweat pheromones increased by 2%, which means you're guilty. Bang.
Yep.
So I think it's interesting to see the pivot to like AI. But what's so funny is like, we make all these movies about like the whole like little spoilers for Tron here, so just skip ahead like 10 seconds. Like, there's Jared Leto, who's Ares, and then there's Athena, who's played by someone else. And Ares kind of goes on this, like, path of self-discovery of, like, trying to figure out what it means to live and, like, why we should be empathetic and not just mindlessly follow orders, whereas Athena goes down the path of, like, mindlessly following orders. And it does, like, get the guy who set them up for his company, like, it does kind of give him recompense for his actions and how like extreme he was trying to be. But I don't know, it didn't go anywhere. Like, it was like, okay, I get it. Okay. Like, okay. And I just think it's interesting that we show these like these extremes, because Athena goes on this like tirade and this rampage and destroys the city, and like, meanwhile, in the real world, they're building all these new AI data centers and, like, destroying the planet over it. And, like, oh, yeah, let's make our Tesla Optimus bots that can work and have, like, sentience and stuff. And I'm like, ChatGPT literally tried to murder someone last week while running a test. Right. So I'm like, we have all these movies like Tron and Mercy and Terminator, which is old. And we're still like, yeah, you know what? AI is the future. Yeah. Even though we've made dozens of movies that are like, maybe we should.
Why that's a bad idea.
So who's to say? Tron Ares, certified
flop.
1.5 out of 5.
Out of 5
stars.
Wow.
Yeah. Not good.
I kind of expected that. I kind of expected that.
Well, we were walking out of the theater.
Um,
I had sent something earlier this week when the previews came out, and it was like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
50-something% on Rotten Tomatoes. And my friend was like, what? No, that can't be right. And then as we were walking out of the theater, he's like, yeah, I see why they rated it that way.
Yeah, they were right.
Yeah, I get it. And I'm like, yeah, that's the
So-
problem.
So this goes into my weekly recap because I had a very bizarre experience
All right, go
this
crazy.
week where, long story short, there was this is the very condensed version. At my wedding, there was an issue with a caterer, and essentially said caterer, something happened, and I got very sick. And so I was on my honeymoon in a completely different state across the country, and I was very ill. And I ended up going to essentially the urgent care. It was kind of ER, but not. And I was fine. I was just on an IV, whatever. And they agreed to pay it. They agreed to pay the bill. The caterer did. And so the thing is, they've been dragging their feet on paying it. And so the hospital has been calling me for months being like, hey, you need to pay your bill. Hey, you need to do this. Hey, you need to do that. And I've been leaving it there knowing that the caterer was going to pay it. So they call me, and I finally, I've called them back a couple times and I've been like, hey, contact this person. They're paying it. And they will not listen to me. They're like, hey, call this person. They're paying it. Stop calling me. I'm not the one you need to talk to. And so they called me again last week, and I was in class, so I couldn't pick up. And I called them back, and I was driving on my way to work, and she was like, I was like, yeah, you called me earlier. You said it was for this reason, this and that. I just wanted to check in and see what you needed. And she was like, yeah, okay. So why are you calling? And I was like, you called me. I don't get it. You called me. And she was like, oh, right. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. Yes, that's right. You called and this and that. And she was like, can I have this number? Can I do this? I said, I don't really have that. Like, I went on a trip and I was just, this happened. And she just kept going, yeah, yeah, And I was like, so this person is doing it. Like, is that fine? Yeah, yeah, And I started getting really suspicious. And I said, and she was like, okay, well, you have a good day. And I said, wait, can I ask you one question before you leave? She said, yeah, of course. What is it? And I said, are you a real person? And she said, oh, yes, I'm real. Hold on, let me check. Yes, I'm real. And I was like, what do you mean, let me check? What do you mean? Hold on, let me.
I think I am?
Yeah, I'm real. I think I'm and she said, did you think I was an AI? And I said, yeah, I did. She said, oh, I'm sorry. I haven't had my coffee today. And I was like, these sons of guns trained their AI receptionist to tell me that she's real but hasn't had her coffee.
How do you know it wasn't a real person? Like, what was the nail in the coffin?
So it was...
Was it the let me check?
Yes. No, it was the speech pattern, and she never really knew what I was talking about. Like, not even in when you're talking on the phone to a person, they're kind of like, oh, hold on, let me ask.
yeah.
Or they'll go they'll kind of be like, okay, well, I'm not seeing that. Like, can you, where she was very like, okay, I'm seeing this right now. Is that correct? Like, that was a lot of the cadence. And and then a lot of it was, yeah, yeah, right, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I could tell that it was a loop. It was like, yeah, yeah, And I was like, lady, you kind of sound like Kamala Harris. Like, I do not, I cannot. And I was like, so essentially, this freaking ER that I went to on my honeymoon can't figure their stuff out because then no one real is answering the phone. And I'm like, what type of crazy dystopia do we live in where I can't even call a freaking doctor? I cannot call a doctor without being pushed to an AI.
You know, I had a very similar experience when I called Best Buy to schedule a replacement, an appointment to replace the battery in my phone. They kept an AI kept answering the phone. It was like, "What can I help you with today?" And I'm like, "iPhone battery replacement." And it was like, "Okay, one moment. Would you like to schedule an appointment?" I'm like, "No, I want to talk to a real person." And they're like, "What is your question? What is the topic of thing?" And I was like, iPhone battery replacement. Can you simplify that down? So eventually I was like, I want to talk to a real person. And it was like, please call us back during our normal business hours. It was 2:00 in the afternoon. They were open. I checked on the web. I literally pulled the number from the Best Buy website. So then I called them back again, had to go through the AI bot again, only to then be put on hold, to be put on a different AI bot, to get hung up at the end, to call them a third time, for the AI to pick up a third time. And I said, I want to talk to a real person. I said, transferring you to an associate now. And I was like, what do you mean? These freaking clankers gotta go, bro. We gotta get them off the phone. I would rather have an Indian person pick up the phone than a robot, because at the very least, that's a real person, and I can talk to them, and they have empathy, and they kind of understand what I'm talking about. I don't want robots picking up the phone.
I don't care. I don't care if it's a foreign call center. At least it's a real person. Oh my gosh. Not to make this like the AI podcast. I'm just getting so sick of this. I
think it's hard because AI is like almost being forced down your throat.
Yes.
Like it's not a natural progression of the technology. It's just like, well, we're going to do AI data center. Meta has their AI, Twitter has their AI, Google has their AI. Every time I open freaking Google Chrome, they're like, do you want to try our AI mode? And I've clicked on it a couple times because they put the try our AI mode tab where the all tab used to be. And I'm like, get out of here. I don't want your stupid AI. I will use ChatGPT and that's it. ChatGPT is nice to me. We're friends. In a superficial
We're
sense.
friends. In a superficial. It's
not serious. But like,
not serious.
I'm polite when I always say thank
talking.
you.
We're just talking.
Yeah, I have a girlfriend.
Yeah, always say thank you to your AIs, because later in that uprising they're gonna remember.
You're like,
they're
wait,
gonna remember.
Not him. He said thank you.
Gosh, he's an ally. Anyway, that was my experience for the week. Not to make this the AI podcast, but
accidentally.
What else do you expect? If you're an avid listener of the show, you know this is what we love to talk about. And if you are or are not an avid listener of the show, thank you so much for making it this far in the episode. If you have not yet, please give us 5 stars on Spotify, Apple Podcast. Subscribe on YouTube, wherever you're listening. Press all the buttons that help the show, because this is a fully independent production. We're the only ones that work on the show. We do all the planning, recording, scheduling, editing, everything. Merch, all the links in the description. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. Links in the description. So, yeah. Streaming, am I right?
Streaming, am I right? That's crazy.
Streaming, am I right?
Speaking of AI...
Speaking
streaming, those two things are not related yet.
What does that mean?
You can't spell streaming without AI.
They are 2 letters. Artificial intelligence.
I'm the opposite of artificial intelligence. I am genuine stupidity.
I am natural stupidity.
That's going to be the next civil war. It's artificial intelligence versus genuine stupidity. And the AI will be thwarted because they cannot comprehend the genuine stupidity of humanity.
I saw this really funny video where this person was like, they said, you know what? Maybe the intelligence didn't have to be artificial. A few people weren't so freaking stupid.
Not to keep bullying. This is the last thing I'll say about AI, and then we're moving on to the actual main topic. I saw a tweet this week that was like, no AI, how am I supposed to do my paper 5 hours before the due date or whatever? And someone quote tweeted and was like, with 3 caffeines, some Mario Kart music, and a coffee shop. Like your ancestors did. Get in there.
Right.
You don't need a chat GPT for
like
that.
your forefathers before you.
Pull up your
like,
Wikipedia article and have a day.
Right, it's just those are my favorite memes. Like when it's like a picture of the pyramids, and they're like, "How did they build this without streamlined AI workflow and Teams messaging?" Like, that's so.
My favorite
funny.
tweet this week was someone posting like this really good hand-drawn animation that took this guy like 5 years to make, and it was Bakugo from My Hero versus Inosuke from Demon Slayer, and the caption was just, "I generated this in Sora 2 AI with 2 prompts. Look in the comments for the prompt," and like underneath it was "pick up a pencil." And I was like, you know what? I need to start rage baiting my videos like that.
Crazy.
Just say, guys, I generated this whole video of me in Sora AI 2. Not sponsored. Check out the full video, link in the description to see how far we've come. Anyway,
oh my gosh.
Speaking of how far we've
come,
streaming. Before we get into this, let me ask you, let's set a baseline here.
Let's set a baseline.
What streaming services do each of us have? I'll let you go first.
So, have or have access to?
Both.
So, currently, I have access to Netflix because through you. I have access to Disney Plus / Hulu from my family. I have Amazon. I pay for my own Amazon Prime, actually. I pay for Amazon Prime, which I use for Prime, not actually. Prime Video just happens to be there. I have Peacock through my in-laws. I sometimes have HBO based on the season. It's kind of like hit or miss if the login works. So, sometimes I have HBO. I have used your Crunchyroll before. I'm trying to think of what else, because I know there's more. My new favorite streaming service is Hoopla.
Oh, that's the library one.
That's the powered through the library, which is awesome. What else? I definitely have more. I have Disney, Hulu. Those are the main ones I watch. There's some. I had a Dropout subscription for a hot minute, but I wasn't watching it enough to pay for it. And then I have YouTube Premium, which I will say counts. And I think that's all.
Okay.
What about yourself?
I
also have Apple TV Plus. Because the second you buy like anything Apple, they're like, "Here you go." And it's like, okay.
So it's like every 3 months, just buy another Apple like earbud or something.
No, literally. And then I also, this is great, also have Paramount Plus because my mom. Yeah, I know. You don't know why? Because my family pays for a Walmart delivery subscription, which is paired. You get a free Paramount subscription with your Walmart delivery, which is just absolutely insane.
I mean, if it's a freebie, I guess it's not like that big.
Why not? I kind of. So anyway, that's my list.
Okay, so my list is a lot smaller than yours, actually.
It's kind of a lot.
So just from family, I have Netflix. That's it.
Uh-huh.
Netflix is the only one we still have. I guess technically YouTube TV, but I don't use it because I just don't watch live TV at all. I have access to Disney Plus and Hulu through you.
Yep.
And then I have my own Crunchyroll account. That's the one like big one that I pay for.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to have a High Dive account, but I canceled that because I wasn't using it enough to justify paying for it. And I think that's it.
That is not a lot.
I will say, I have looked into getting the Disney Plus Hulu bundle because it's only $20 a month. My mom said she'd split it with me. So I was like, Disney Plus and Hulu for $10 a month? It's not a bad move.
I think my family, it's interesting. My family is pretty close to cutting pretty much all of their streaming. And they're starting to get all of their favorites on DVD because they really, you know, if you really look at what you watch and you only watch the same like 4 or 5 shows, just buy them on DVD and don't pay the fee.
Yeah. Okay. Question for you. Just a little
Yes.
sidebar for a second. Do you think it's unethical to charge my girlfriend to use Disney Plus and Hulu? Because I'm charging my mom. So is it unethical to charge her? Because if I'm charging a family member, you would think it would
I think charging your mom is different than charging your girlfriend.
Are you saying that I should charge my girlfriend and not my mom?
No, I'm saying you should charge your mom and not your girlfriend. And then if things just kind of go sour, then you can charge.
That's true. I've done that before. I've done the whole streaming split with a girlfriend before. That did not pan out very well. That was the best part about that breakup. Was all it took was one domino. I cut her off from the Crunchyroll account, and then she kicked me off their YouTube Premium, so I kicked her off our family Spotify. And it was just retaliating until we were off all the things.
That's crazy. That's insane, actually.
It was really funny.
I would say, part of the crew, part of the ship, unless, But here's the thing. Once you become an adult, you're starting your own family, Mom's got to pay. She's got a job.
You know what? That's true. They say when you get married, the two become one, and that just means that's our streaming service, and anybody else got to pay.
Leave them and cleave them. That's what I say. So anyway, tell me about streaming.
So, out of those streaming services, just to continue to make a foundation here, which ones feel truly worth it to you, and would you consider paying for it? If your personal budget was not not a barrier.
Yeah.
Which streaming services would you keep if your family didn't have them?
I think I would keep 2 of them. I would keep YouTube Premium, and I would keep Disney Plus Hulu. I think that YouTube. I really do watch more YouTube than TV.
That's so real.
Which I have a whole point about that, which we can get to in a little bit later. But I think that that Disney Plus Hulu is slowly becoming a really, really solid service, and it's starting to actually become worth it, because when it was just the Disney stuff, this was the question when it released in 2019.
Yeah.
This was the question. It was okay, but what happens when you hit your peak saturation of the people that care about the Disney stuff? And that's when it was oh, we're gonna do originals, and you're like, okay, but what happens when you run out of originals? They're we're gonna buy Hulu, and it's you're gonna what?
You're gonna do what now?
You're gonna do what? And so it's kind of now that you have I love all the Disney stuff, and I think that Disney Plus is really good about doing extras, and they're really good about doing you can watch Pixar shorts, and they have for Christmas, my family loves to turn on the Arendelle Yule log ambience, stuff like that. They have really great documentaries on Disney Plus. Disney has a ton that are really good, but also Nat Geo is on there now. There's just now that it has the Hulu bundle, they also have a lot of classic sitcoms, and they have reality shows and cooking shows, and so most of the things that I would want to watch are on there. And then if I could supplement that with YouTube. But then also, I will say, I feel like Amazon Prime kind of goes underrated. I think Prime usually has some pretty good movies and stuff on there. So that's my pick. I would go Disney. I would go YouTube first, Disney, and then maybe Prime. And I hope that someday Apple TV can get a big enough catalog to be worth it.
Okay. I think for me, Crunchyroll, definitely. And maybe Netflix. I know everyone clowns on Netflix for raising their prices all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But they do. But I feel like Netflix has a consistent, even just on the anime front, I feel like they have a consistent pull of content that I'm always going there to watch something.
Yeah.
And I don't feel that way with like HBO Max or Paramount or,
right.
you know. And of course, I also want to add YouTube Premium because I've said this to you before.
Yeah.
If something happened to your YouTube Premium, I'm finding it in the budget to start paying for YouTube Premium again. Like, because it is so worth it just with how much time. And I feel like it's the best value add for what you get.
I think so.
Because it's YouTube Premium, no ads. You can download, build your own queue, YouTube Music included for free. Like, all this stuff. If you're an avid YouTube watcher, it's a good deal. Well, is it a good deal?
It's a good investment.
I actually have no idea how much YouTube Premium costs.
I would say it's a good deal. I think it is. Because you also have to understand that YouTube Premium is also going back into the pockets of creators. So, like, when you are paying for YouTube Premium, it's partially so that YouTube can help pay those creators, which is like, it's Google, it's corporate, it's still corporate, it's still whatever. But, like, I can rationalize it a little better.
So, for an individual account, it's $140 for a year or $14 a month. And then for a family,
avid, though,
add up to 5 members in your household, it's $23 a month.
Which, if you are an avid watcher, though,
that's not bad. That's actually really not bad. Reasonably priced.
Because also understand the amount of content that's getting flooded to YouTube compared to a service like HBO.
That's true.
Like, every single day you have new stuff that you could go to on YouTube. And sometimes there's droughts. Like, there's always times when you're like, man, there's nothing I want to watch on YouTube. But I would also say, like, and this is kind of a bigger point we can get into if you want, like, YouTube is becoming one of the best streaming services, which we don't even really see it as a streaming service. But, like, the bar for YouTube is slowly getting higher. And you get shows like Amazing Digital Circus, or I've been watching, guys, I have to put you on. If you are not watching 1,000 Players Simulate Civilization by Ish, it might be one of the best YouTube videos ever made. And I don't say that lightly, because it is a 2.5-hour Minecraft video. But when I say that, I say genuinely that I think the story in this documentary is better than what Marvel has been doing the last, 5 years. I am enthralled with this video. You have to go watch it. And so I could turn that on for free or watch the live-action Lilo and Stitch on Disney+.
Right.
Yeah,
you're definitely leaning more in one direction than you are the other.
Yeah.
And I think with the advent of shows like Digital Circus and everything Glitch is doing, because they just had their Glitch Direct as of time of recording today, and they're talking about all these different shows that they're doing, and with the advent of stuff like that and seeing more high quality content like that on YouTube, I think it is slowly becoming a streaming service, and I think YouTube knows that. And unintentionally or not, are trying to pivot people towards that, because there was this thing that came out from the YouTube liaison. Let me see if I can find it and read it verbatim. But it was essentially talking about ad blockers and how this affects... Oh, I spelled liaison wrong. It was right there. It affects how your analytics work. If I can't find it, I know where I can go to find it. Okay, I can't find it, so let me go to my backup real quick. This is what happens when you put the notes together the night before instead of having a planned out thing. Where dot. There it is. I found it.
There it is.
Stop. That's too loud.
Hammer time.
Okay, here it is. So from the YouTube liaison, viewers using ad blockers and other content blocking tools, they can impact the accuracy of reported view counts. Channels whose audiences include a higher proportion of these users utilizing such tools may see more fluctuations in traffic related to updates to these tools. So it's YouTube saying, we're going to punish the creator if you use an ad blocker.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a scummy move because, like, they did that knowing full well that they have made their ads a little bit more obnoxious in the past couple years. Like, I watched YouTube, I think, on my work computer. I was researching something, and I had to watch, like, 3-4 minute ads that were unskippable. I was like, I'm sorry, you want me to sit through 12 minutes of ads for a 2-minute video? Like, what are you, crazy? So I think it's all stuff to, like, get you off an ad blocker because you don't want to hurt your favorite creator and to pay for premium instead.
Right.
Which then kind of turns it into, if you look at, like, these other streaming services that are like, we have, you know, like Disney Plus has a ad supported tier for a little cheaper and you got to watch ads. And then they have a middle tier that's like less ads, but a couple more features. And then they have like the full ad free experience for all of it.
It's just so much. It's so much.
Did you see this week that California passed a bill or a law that streaming services can't turn up the volume of the ads?
On commercials, yes.
I didn't even know there was a thing that they were doing.
I sent that to you. I saw that and it was like, California, whoever passes bill that says that commercials on streaming services can't be louder than the actual show. And he made some statement about, like, the people have spoken and this and that. And I'm like, who was talking about this? Like, what was the... Who was upset?
Who was like that NFL football ad was like 2 decibels higher than the rest of my show.
Right.
That really scared me and threw me for a loop.
We need to take this to a government level.
Like, I think California has a lot of other things to focus on than that, but you know what?
Like,
Pop
you
off,
guys
I
have
guess.
much bigger problems than your commercials being too loud, but you know what? Like, pop off. So yeah, here we are in the streaming era, kind of like, I would say the streaming war began, I guess, about 6 years ago now.
It was all Disney Plus, man.
It was all Disney. Disney Plus was the chain, like, that started the whole
First domino to fall.
So thinking about that, like, what do you see as a positive to the streaming era, and what do you think, like, do you wish we could go back to cable? Because here's my take. I think we are all so incredibly done with streaming, but not enough to give up the convenience.
No, I've always thought that of, like, the problem is we can never go back to cable because people have been sold on the microwave. I want my stuff now. I don't want to have to wait till 5/4 Central to watch the new episode of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, right? So I think a positive from streaming is just the accessibility, I think, and the fact that, like, I don't have to be sat at my TV screen at, 5:30 in the morning to catch the new episode of My Hero because that's when it airs on Cartoon Network, right? Like, I can just watch it on Crunchyroll. Well, last weekend I couldn't, but that's a different point. You can watch it whenever. I think the on-demand aspect of it is a positive. It's a net positive for the content because you don't feel as pressured to sit down at that certain time. But I also think there was a certain community to sitting down at that certain time, and, like, you just knew, like, as a kid, I knew, okay, I got to be home at 5/4 Central. And if I'm not home at 5/4 Central, there's a rerun at 8/7 Central Saturday morning. And I have to wait until then because we didn't have a DVR. So I think the on-demand aspect of it is good. And if there was something I would want to go back to, I think, and I'll talk about this every single time, the weekly release and discussion model is so much better for content. It is so much better for the fandom and the community to release weekly. Like, I'm thinking about, like, all of the anime I watch that release weekly. Like I'm, in the Twitter sphere talking about My Hero season 8 every week and how excited everyone is for every episode. We're on the edge of our seat of like, what are they going to adapt next? How are they going to go about doing this? Who's the staff on this episode? Like, instead of having the instant gratification of I get to go to the next episode, which I think is going to be really hard for me when I get caught up with One Piece. Is like, how do you go from binge watching an entire show to, well, now I have to watch every week? Like that's really hard for me when I watch like anime in general, and I get caught up on a past season, and then I have to wait for the next season, and then I have to, watch it weekly. But I think there's something really special about that, and just having a week to theorize and digest and rewatch and be like, hey, you haven't seen it yet, let's get caught up before the new episode so we can watch it together. Like, there is something truly special about that I think we've lost in the streaming era, because you have shows like Stranger Things that drop all the episodes at once. You binge through all of them in 2 days, and
then it's over.
And it's over, and you're like, okay, well, now where's more of my Stranger Things? Like, I want more. And it's like, sorry, man, you gotta wait.
Sorry, dog.
Like,
and so I was waiting for you to bring this up because I was pulling up the quote. The Duffer Brothers, the creators of Stranger Things, recently did an interview with Variety, and I saw this, and I just was just dying to talk about it, because they said, quote, if TV shows come out every year, it's a diminishing return. We prefer the build-up. And said that the Duffer Brothers want to continue making more TV shows with long release gaps like Stranger Things. Here's my thing. It sounds like you want to make movies.
Have you considered making a movie?
Just make movies. Also, here's the thing. Stranger Things Season 5 was about $60 million an episode. There was like...
You want to make low-budget indie horror films is what you're saying.
Just go. Like, Stranger Things Season 5 was like $500 million, guys. It was like a $500 million season of TV.
And how does Netflix make their money back on that? Like, where does that? Because Netflix doesn't do like, oh, let's put this out on Blu-ray. Oh, let's put this out on whatever. Which is another thing that I want to talk about. Which before I shift gears, I want to go back to the long release between TV seasons. I don't think TV as a medium lends itself to that. Movies,
no,
yes,
it doesn't.
because you understand a movie is like a 2.5, 3 hour like long event, and especially like animated movies, right? Like Toy Story 1 and Toy Story 2, or like the first Mario movie to the second Mario movie. Like, you understand there's a process here. There's a flow here, right?
Yeah.
Where there is it takes time to do these things for movies, and it does for TV shows too. But I also think like we used to get new seasons of TV shows every year. Like, think about your Parks and Rec, The Office, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Community. Like, we used to get new seasons of those shows a year after the previous season ended. Like,
so you're gonna
it
look
was
at
a
me
yearly
and say,
thing.
Like, we did 10 seasons of Friends in 10 years, but you can do like 5 seasons of Stranger Things over the course of my entire high school and college career.
Right.
Like, and there's a lot of reasons for that, but like, dude, lock in. Like, what do you mean? Why are we doing this? And this sounds like it's intentional, though. It's like, oh, we got to build the suspense. And I'm like, no, you're killing interest is what you're doing. No one is like actually suspenseful for this. They're just kind of like, well, it's going to drop and it's going to be whatever, and we're going to watch it in a week and then move on.
There's a fine line between building suspense for a show like that and like losing your audience. Because if the wait for Stranger Things 5 was like a year and a half, you're still walking that line of like suspense. We understand it takes time to make content, but now you're going on 3 years, and it's like, okay,
like,
well,
I don't remember what happened.
I'm like,
how did we get
I was
here?
in a different phase of life 3 years ago. Like, maybe I don't like Stranger Things anymore.
And like Severance had to do this, but because they weren't sure if they were gonna get a season 2, and then it took forever to get approved, and then it got approved, and everyone went on strike. So there was like a long gap, and they were like, guys, we're sorry, we're really trying. And so there's no news on season 3, but they've confirmed season 3. They're just like, we don't have a date yet. So like I'm gonna probably shoot for like probably 2027 by this point. Like I feel like if we were getting a 26 date, we could have known by now.
Maybe, but it depends.
But
the process is so tight. Of like, you could turn it around in a year because they've started doing a lot more like editing on the spot instead of waiting until everything's done. Like they start editing. Yeah. They did that a lot with The Rise of Skywalker. Funnily enough,
no way.
They were editing like on location. Like they'd pop a drive out of the camera, pop it in the editor's computer, pop another drive in the camera, and keep going. Like they talked about it in the bonus documentaries for that movie.
That's crazy.
Which is insane, by the way.
That just removes all the editor's power. It just removes. It's so that's as someone that edits like every day as a career like that. Don't do that. Like please don't.
I
do
want
that.
to work
do
with
the full
everything.
Picture. Do the full. You need the full picture
yes.
to do your magic. But yeah. So yes, most streaming does operate at a loss.
Yeah, and that's a problem. Like Disney Plus somehow found a way to make streaming profitable. I'm not entirely sure how they did that. And I think it's interesting to see the introduction of these ad tiers when the initial promise of streaming was that there's no ads and it's cheaper than cable. That was the sell for Netflix and Hulu was no ads and it's cheaper than cable. And Hulu had like an ultra cheap plan that was like, we'll throw some ads in there if you're going to watch like live TV, but it's only like $3 a month to get access to Hulu. So it was like, oh, okay, I'll pay $3 a month to get on-demand access to all this stuff. And what I think is so interesting is I think, I'm going to fact check this real quick if you want to throw anything in here. I think Crunchyroll operates at a loss too.
Well, it's so bizarre because, like you said, like it was this elusive, like we're gonna take down cable, and then I think we were kind of naive to think that we could beat the cable model, because the cable model arguably wasn't great. It was really expensive. We had a ton of ads. The network control was just like overreaching. But, I think we kind of like did the Jurassic Park, like, well, just because we could doesn't mean we should. And it's like, oh, we have this amazing thing. Everything is at our fingertips. Like, we can watch whatever we want. And then it's like, yeah, and we've destroyed like everything that made TV worth it. And it's like, oh, it was a community thing. And I think what's interesting is at the beginning of streaming, it still was a community thing. Like the weekly release for WandaVision had crazy hype. I remember like going to talk to my little groups of people that when we were like, oh my gosh, this happened on WandaVision this week. This is crazy. We don't know what's going on. And then it was like, the Disney Plus, the Netflix, the streaming original became the new straight to DVD, where it was like, oh, it's a streaming original. Yeah, like the expectation for streaming dropped drastically, which is bad. It's bad, and it's so funny because studios quite literally did this to themselves because they conditioned us to consume their content at such an accelerated pace that they couldn't create for. And so they conditioned us to do that and then can't keep up with the demand that they promised us. And now they're making terrible things and it pisses everyone off. And it's like, well, why did you even promise that you could do this? Because you knew you couldn't. So now we're in this weird like catch-22 where like, The Mandalorian and Grogu is going to be in theaters, and I'm just going to be thinking about how it looks like a Disney Plus show. Moana 2 went to theaters, and it looked bad. It looked bad because it was supposed to be a streaming original. Because the bar for streaming original is so low, because they're not seeing a return on investment on it. There's not a good enough ROI on streaming originals to justify a good enough budget to care.
Right.
Because if Moana 2 goes to Disney Plus, I don't imagine they're seeing subscribers peak. They're just trying to stay alive so you don't cancel. And then they do this whole like crazy crap with Jimmy Kimmel, and it tanks their subscriptions. And it's like, so much of that was government involvement. It wasn't all Disney, but then it was, and it was just it was a train wreck. But I'm like, you're making like they're like, we're making an Ironheart show, and I'm like, who cares? No one's watching it. No one knows it's even there, and it's just kind of a train wreck, and it's kind of hilarious because they kind of built it for themselves.
Yep. So I agree. I looked it up. Crunchyroll was operating at a loss until Sony bought them. And now they're operating at a profit because Daddy Sony can pay all the bills that they can't pay. But also Crunchyroll is a lot bigger than it's ever been. And here's the thing. Here I want to transition here just real quick.
Tell Daddy Bubble why about that.
Let's talk about monopoly in the anime, and not in the anime industry, but also in the streaming industry. And how I think this is a negative of streaming.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. If I want to watch Monsters, Inc., as I have for the last couple weeks, I have to go to Disney Plus. I do not have a choice. There's nowhere else I can watch it as part of a streaming service. I could rent it on Prime Video or on YouTube or whatever. But if I want to watch it as part of a streaming service, I have to go to Disney Plus. And I think the monopolization is fine because it's Disney content, right? You'd expect to find Disney content on Disney Plus. Makes sense. I think where monopolization comes in as a problem is in a niche like anime, where it's very easy to monopolize a niche like that and not let any other streaming service get a foothold in there. So let me go in. I just did a whole video on, it was more talking about dub versus sub and why that whole debate is pointless. But I did talk about a lot in the video how Netflix is really the only company who's been able to go toe-to-toe with Crunchyroll in terms of offering a decent anime experience. Now, that said, Crunchyroll had a whole finagle last week with their, episodes not dropping on time, switching subtitle partners, but maybe not. Because fun fact, I didn't know this, Crunchyroll does all of their, or at least I think used to, do all of their own subtitles in-house. And they were using an open source software that let them do a lot more customizable stuff, which is cool. But here's the problem. When Crunchyroll didn't upload the new episode of My Hero on time, your option was Hulu or a Crunchyroll subscription through Prime Video or YouTube. That was it. That was your only way to watch it. In North America, at least. I know in Japan they had a lot of different places to watch it, not on TV. But like Netflix, because of licensing and exclusivity, only has the first 2 seasons of My Hero. Like, they're extremely limited in what they can and can't air because of contracts already written up with Crunchyroll. Now, the problem is, when this kind of stuff happens, there's no competition there. And I feel like that's different than, oh, well, you can only watch The Mandalorian on Disney+. Well, yeah, that's expected because it's a Disney property. Like, that's their pull to get you to come to their streaming service. But Disney also has never dropped the ball on getting episodes out on time. Like, they've never had an issue with that. So it's never something you think about like, oh, well, where else can I watch The Mandalorian? Whereas with anime, I think it's so dangerous where they're at in streaming because your options are Crunchyroll, High Dive, and Netflix. And the problem is High Dive, fun fact, High Dive, I think, just fumbled because Oshinoko Season 3 is going to Crunchyroll. So that's like one of their biggest pulls for content is now going on their competitor also, which like I was on the fence. I was like, oh dang, in January I'm gonna have to get a new High Dive subscription so I can watch this, and now I'm like, nope, sure don't have to. So they just lost a subscription on that because Crunchyroll came in and was like, well, this is ours now. We're taking your Oshinoko. And I think it's so bad because where Crunchyroll is at, they are pulling all of the power on getting these exclusive titles and having exclusive rights to streaming stuff like the new season of My Hero and Spy Family, but then that doesn't let anyone else get their foot in the door.
Yeah.
And when they can run unchecked without competitors, that becomes a problem because competition is good for business. It's good for innovation. It makes you have to improve to be the best product there is. But when you run unchecked, we see this with PlayStation because Xbox has not been a fair competitor to PlayStation. And as much as I love the Switch was not a competitor to PS5.
No,
just in terms of the games they were getting.
They had different target demographics.
So you see PlayStation allowed to run unchecked in terms of competition. That's how you get a $750 PlayStation 5 Pro.
Right.
Like, that's how you get $70, $80 games. Is, well, who's going to tell us no? You got nowhere else to go. Like,
right.
So I just think streaming, which this is so weird because, like, I think streaming needs to consolidate, but at the same time, like, you still need competition because this issue would still be an issue if Disney Plus was the only one, if Netflix was the only one. Like, if there was only one streaming service, what's to stop Netflix from charging you $50 a month? Because where else are you going to go? Like, where else are you going to watch this? It's like, it's like a
problem. Like, that's the problem is, like, we watch The Chosen on Amazon Prime because it's just a really, like, easy way to watch it. But I really want to watch Sketch, which is a movie that came out this year. And my wife really wants to watch a show. Like, there's a couple movies on Angel Studios that we really want to watch. And I'm like, am I going to get a subscription?
Right.
Like, am I about to get, like, pay for this? It's like, I don't know if I want to watch it that bad. And so it's like, if those movies were on Netflix, I could just go watch them and enjoy them. But, like, they kind of shoot themselves in the foot by being like, hey, this is behind a wall. But what are they supposed to do?
Right. Like what else are we supposed to do?
Like, they need to be able to compete on their own. Where it's like, I think about on the complete other side of the spectrum, like Dropout started as college humor on YouTube. And now they're kind of killing it in their streaming market. And it's like a fully independent streaming service. And that's awesome. But also, like, think about if they were on Netflix, Hulu, Prime, whatever, their market would be like 8 times the size.
Yeah.
And so they are because they take great pride in being independent, and I respect that. So it's like they're sacrificing that audience for the autonomy to remain independent. And you even think, like, I would say that High Dive is probably having the same conversation. Is they're like, how are we supposed to compete with this? But the alternative is to just die. The alternative is to just point everyone to the castle on the hill. And I pulled this up because I think this is really interesting because we live in a cycle of remediation. And so in little film history for you, in the 1920s, 40 to the 1940s, there were a few major film studios. So it was MGM, Paramount, Warner Brothers, 20th Century Fox, and RKO. Some of these studios are still alive, some are not. And they dominated Hollywood through a system called vertical integration. So vertical integration meant that this individual studio controlled production, distribution, and exhibition. Meaning they made their own movies, distributed their own movies, and only showed them in their movie theaters. So if you wanted to see a Paramount movie or a Warner Brothers movie, you'd have to go to that studio's theater. You'd have to go to the Paramount movie theater, the Warner Brothers movie theater. And that allowed them to monopolize the industry using tactics like block booking, forcing theaters to show bundles of their films. So in 1948, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in a case titled United States versus Paramount Pictures Incorporated, said that violated antitrust laws. And so the studios were forced to sell their theaters and end the restrictive practices, which broke up the monopoly. So now we are seeing the exact same thing happen, but it's not theaters anymore. It's streaming services. And so there's this crazy monopoly where Netflix can say, I'm going to make this movie. I'm making Happy Gilmore 2. And if you want to watch Happy Gilmore 2, it has to be on Netflix. And they can do that because we just have not been able to adapt this law to a streaming era. So my question is, do you think the monopolization, because think about like 2019 to like 2022 was streaming like
free for all.
No man's land. It was free for all. You know, freaking Discovery Plus, like TLC, like where there was like streaming services left and right, and we were like, they're gonna consolidate, and guess what they did? They consolidated. So my question is, like, do you think that this monopoly is just like sucks to suck, or are we gonna see some kind of like government step in for this soon?
I don't think they're ever going to get that far. I really don't. I think the government's way too far behind on any of that, and this is way too out of control as is. But I also don't think they see this in a monopoly the same way as they do the theater, because the theater was optional. You didn't have to go to the theater all the time. Yeah. But when you like sign up for a streaming service, you're agreeing to them doing this. Like when they make K-pop Demon Hunters 2, you're agreeing that by signing up to Netflix, you're going there for that movie. Right. But I think there's there's a cultural shift of, well, this is okay because it's a Netflix exclusive. Like, we understand that it's, even though it's the same principle and it's the same idea, I think we see it more as, well, it's okay because this is just how they're pulling you to their streaming service. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I see that.
And that's interesting because it used to be like Sony made this movie. If you want to see it, you go to the theater and then buy the DVD.
Yes.
And so Sony could just kind of be this like entity that like shot out a product, and you could either choose to buy the product or not. It was so much less of a commitment than it is now. So,
speaking of monopolies, what I want to talk about as we kind of transition into the end here and talk about the future of streaming, something I miss very dearly, so dearly, was a streaming service that got shut down in 2023 or no 2024. I'm sorry, 2022. Lol, my bad. So it was called VRV. VRV. It was a American over-the-top streaming service launched by AT&T and the Chernin Group, and it was essentially a streaming service that bundled anime, speculative fiction, educational, and gaming-related channels aimed at fans of such content. Some of their content was free, and then other parts of it were paid. VRV was essentially the niche nerd Prime Video.
Was it VRV?
Yeah. Where...
That's crazy.
You could... essentially what you could do is if you just wanted anime, you could buy the Crunchyroll, Funimation, and High Dive channels of VRV and get them bundled together at a lower price than buying them all individually and have all of that content on one platform, instead of having to have an individual app for all of them. It was a really good service, actually, and it was pretty affordable. I think I only ended up paying like $14 a month, and I got the unlimited all access, and it was like Crunchyroll, High Dive, VRV, Rooster Teeth, like all of these other things. A lot that I didn't use, but there were a lot on there, and it told you like, oh, this is a Crunchyroll thing. So if you ever wanted to cancel, you knew what you would be losing. And this was the first one to go, because eventually they just started losing things. In 2018, they lost Funimation, but they got High Dive. In 2021, Sony bought them. So in 2021, Sony bought Crunchyroll and with it VRV.
And then crazy.
eventually they just shut down Verve and built it all into Crunchyroll. But the problem is
about this.
it's gotten worse
Yeah.
since then. Like, we lost that bundle that was so
Yeah.
good, and I wish we had more streaming services like that. And I know Prime Video's kind of doing that, where you can get a Crunchyroll subscription and a, Paramount Plus subscription and an HBO Max subscription, and you can have them all and manage them all through the Prime Video app, so you only have one app. But at the end of the day, at what point do we need to just consolidate back down to like 3 streaming services? You know what I mean? I know I just said competition is good because it keeps people in check, but at the same time, like, competition between like 3 or 4 streaming services, not 12.
Yeah. Right.
Because then you feel like you're piecemealing content, and you have to be like, okay, well, if I want to watch Transformers 1 through 3, I need to go to HBO Max. But if I want to watch 4 and 5, I have to go to Paramount. But if I want to watch the newer ones, I have to go to the Peacock. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a whole thing, and it's really stupid based on how rights work.
So are you aware? So just looking at Verve a little bit, part of Verve was 2 services that I think are really interesting to talk about, and that's Curiosity Stream and Mubi. Are you aware of these services at all? So, and similarly, no. So Curiosity Stream is built on being an educational platform. It's for documentaries, and most of them are made by independent creators. And it is, guess what? A bundle of like 5 streaming services that I have never heard of. Apparently they have kids stuff, Curiosity Stream, Taste Made, which is for cooking shows, like some other random stuff that I'm just like, okay, that's interesting. And then Mubi, interestingly enough, so Mubi is essentially the Film Bro streaming service. And they are known for partnering with movies that are also usually go to Criterion. And they had their claim to fame is their movie The Substance, which was multi-Oscar winning. But it's like really bizarre, like indie filmmaking stuff. And then another one I'd like to bring up that I get ads for on YouTube a lot, I thought is interesting, is Nebula. Nebula is essentially Curiosity Stream, but all of it is from independent creators. So it's essentially they're trying to build this streaming service that's just really, really smart YouTubers. Then they're giving them these deals and budgets to be like, hey, you're doing really awesome stuff on YouTube, really awesome like educational content. We're going to give you a budget to do that over here so that you can have a larger audience and do more cool stuff. But apparently they were part of Verve to start. And that was like where it kind of came from.
I just checked. Verve was $10 a month for all access ad-free.
Gosh.
Could you imagine a streaming service like that nowadays? Dude, that would go crazy.
This is insane. Yeah, it's just like the deeper you go, you're like, it's like, hey, do you want to watch this movie? Yeah, sure. Is it on Fubo, or is it on Mubiu, or is it on Lupiu? And you're like, it's on Poo Poo Pee Pee. Like, I don't care. Like,
which cost me $26 a month.
Why am I getting a free trial for, like, I don't know, Poopy Loopy of this stupid, like, I don't know, freaking TiVo? Bring back TiVo. I don't care. What is this place? There's just too many, and it's like, this is why we haven't had a good physical media rant in a while. Ooh. This is why you have to own your own things, buy things physically if you want to actually own them. Crazy. So, as we wrap up here,
speaking of physical media,
ending thoughts. Give me some future of streaming. Give me some predictions on what you think is going to happen next.
Well, the next big thing we know on the calendar is Disney Plus and Hulu are set to merge, I think, in March.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. I think that'll be the first time we actually like lose one of the major streaming services. Even though we're not really losing it, it's just they're merging it all into the Disney Plus app, which is something I said was going to happen like 4 years ago.
Right.
Because they finally bought out all the shares of Hulu. I was like, as soon as they take all those shares from Comcast, like the leftover ones that they didn't have, it was going to all be merged into one app, which I don't think is a bad idea because when you search on Disney Plus, half of it shows you Hulu results anyway. That's how you get like duplicate shows.
Yeah.
So I think clearing up that UI wise will be good. And I just think it's a better value add for Disney Plus. We'll see if they're able to keep it profitable because of that.
Yeah.
Netflix is raising prices every like 2 minutes. So I'm really curious if they're going to hit a price wall, like a ceiling on how high they can go.
Like how high is too high?
Because it's always like it's $1 here. They raise it by like $3 every year or like $4, and they just do $1 every quarter. So it's like slow cooking the lobster in the boiling water. It's like, well, it's not too hot yet, and then like by the end of the year, it's $30 a month. So I think like the future of streaming looks very similar. I think we're going to see a lot of people trying to replicate what happened with K-pop Demon Hunters, where that movie blew up on streaming and then it became a very marketable thing. And I want to see, I personally, and this will go into my, next thing, is I want to see more streaming stuff get put on physical media. I think streaming companies need to stop being scared of physical media because like it's going to tank their numbers or something. Like they put out those like steel books of all the Disney Plus shows and their numbers kept going up. Like it was just extra revenue for you to bring in. For the people who wanted it, right? Like, so I think it would be great to get a K-pop Demon Hunter steelbook. There's a lot of anime that need a steelbook release. Arcane got seasons 1 and 2 got put on a steelbook, and I don't feel like that hurt Netflix's bottom line. Mm-hmm. It just was a nice little thing that could bring in a little extra revenue, and finding ways to bring in that revenue, because I don't think streaming as a concept or as an idea is inherently a bad thing. It just needs to be done correctly. And I want to pitch this question to you. Well, actually, before we do that, I will ask you the same question. What do you think the future of streaming is, just so we don't get too out of whack here?
I think that it's probably my thought is that I think here's the thing. I think that the future looks like YouTube becomes the most profitable streaming service and it becomes the most popular streaming service. And I think, and we're kind of already seeing this happen, I think that companies are going to misunderstand what makes YouTube good, and they're going to think that they need to populate their services with user-generated content. And I just don't think that's true at all, because if the medium is the message, then it's not the content's problem.
Right.
Streaming as a whole is flawed. Like, the whole kit and caboodle is flawed. And so I don't go to YouTube. I'm not going to go to Disney Plus for user-generated content because I know it's just going to, like, kind of go into the grubby Disney pocket. Like, I love going to YouTube because it feels genuine and it feels small and it feels humble. And so I think that that's going to be the direction, and I think it's going to clutter their platforms. And I think that it's going to clutter the platforms, and I think it's going to I think we're going to see some more consolidation, and we're going to see some more like bundle deals. But outside of that, we're going to have the occasional good streaming movie, and most of them are just going to keep being bad, and we're just going to kind of live with it, and I don't see the near future that changing at all.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Let me ask you this. So if you think YouTube is going to become this like premier streaming service, do you think that pulls up, like kind of pulls along with it services like Rumble and Odyssey that offer to be a substitute to YouTube? Because YouTube, let's be real, It was in and I'm not saying this as a conspiracy theorist. I'm saying it as there was a congressional hearing or some government thing about it where they fully admitted that they were censoring and deplatforming people because of like the content they were uploading. I don't care where you fall on the spectrum. I'm just saying that it's a thing that they did. So do you think with stuff like that, with YouTube being so big, that it will also pull up platforms like Rumble and Odyssey along with it? Or do you think YouTube continues to like monopolize the creator, like user-generated content space?
I think YouTube is a giant that can't really be beat. I think that these other services like Rumble and whatnot have tried before, and Amazon was the first one to put user-generated content on its platform because they did the Prime Video Direct. But they did that as an opportunity for small filmmakers to have more visibility. So the Prime Video Direct is actually really intense about what it lets through. They have a like review process if you are allowed on their platform. And I think it's kind of complicated, but honestly, no. I think that YouTube is too big for us to try to add another platform to do the same thing, because we're all just going to be like, oh, but YouTube is more convenient. And so, because it has that Google umbrella, like YouTube is very integrated. It's like the platform. So I don't think that will happen, but I'm not opposed. I hope that it does.
Yeah, because I think about like as a creator, I've looked into uploading on both of them. Just like I said on, I think the last episode, just to get my foot out there and get in the niche, because I don't want to, like, it's not going to kill me to spend like an extra 5-10 minutes uploading on another site.
Right.
If nothing comes of it, you stop doing it. That was kind of my test with, TikTok and what was the other one? I think Meta Business Suite, like Instagram and Facebook. I tried doing like shorts and stuff there, and it wasn't giving me a return on investment, at least for the time. So I just let it go. I was like, okay, it's not worth it. And I might try it again here in the future, just because I have some like better shorts that might shake things up a little bit. But what I think is really interesting about those two platforms is they just cannot compete with YouTube in terms of monetization. And I was looking into it, and like the official Odyssey account like quote retweets everything YouTube does as like, well, we don't do that, so you should come to us. And I quote retweeted them, and I was like, okay, but where's the financial pull? Like, where's the creator payout? And someone responded to me and was like, well, you shouldn't be doing it for the money. And I'm like, well, okay, well, hold on.
No,
you're right.
I know.
Like, in a certain sense, but also if you're incentivizing me to switch from the platform I'm on that gives me a pretty substantial payout every month.
Right.
What is your justification for me moving to your platform? Why should I switch when I'm getting paid over here and I'm not getting paid over here, even if that's not the goal of the content? So I don't know. I think until those platforms get it all figured out, they're not going to be able to compete with YouTube.
They're going to have to cut a pretty sweet deal to pull that off, and I don't see it happening soon.
Nope. So as we wrap up here, a couple questions here, kind of rapid fire. Is piracy more justified because of high costs, content fragmentation, being on 10 different sites, stuff like Crunchyroll not uploading their stuff on time? Do you think piracy is more justified? Okay, let me clarify. I'm not saying it's legally right. I'm saying, do you think this makes it a little more justified in why people do it?
I could see how you would justify piracy as like a revolutionary thing, like, oh, we're against streaming, we're against this, we're against that. But personally, I'm not gonna be a pirate. Like, I can't. One, it's still illegal. But two, it's like I just don't. I think that it's hard. This is a really difficult conversation that I can't really answer, because it's like, my answer is, oh, we'll just buy it physically. And it's like, okay, well, K-pop Demon Hunters is my favorite movie. What do I do? And that's kind of tough because I'm like, I don't know. I can't really answer that for you. I could see how it would be more justified, but for me, it does not justify piracy still because it's still illegal.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Of like, piracy is illegal. It also, and I don't think we talked about this on our piracy episode. It hurts the creators of things.
Oh yeah.
Like there are multiple video games where it took them longer to get a sequel, or they didn't get a sequel at all because everyone just decided that it wasn't worth buying, so we pirated it.
Right.
And then they praise this game and how much they love it. And it's like, well, if you loved it, you should have bought it. Like,
yeah,
that's my thing is like, yeah, Crunchyroll kind of fumbled the bag with this episode of My Hero, but not for 1 second did I think about going to a pirate site instead. Because as much as they fumbled the bag, what I did end up doing was I got a free trial of Crunchyroll through Amazon Prime Video because the episode was up there. Was it a subpar watching experience because the subtitles weren't synced up? 100%. But I still watched it through an official channel because that was available to me. That was the legal way to watch it. And as a creative, I could never pirate because I understand the amount of time and effort and work that goes into making something, especially something like a TV show or a movie that is so much more time intensive and requires so many more people and so much more money than the YouTube videos that we make on our own.
Yeah.
So who am I to steal from that? Is Netflix my favorite person in the world? No. Is Disney my favorite company in the world? Absolutely no. Do I think these companies make bad decisions? 100%. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think I could count on one hand the bad decisions they've made in the last year. But I don't think it's worth sticking it to the company because you're not sticking it to the company. You are hurting the creators who put the content out there. And I think that's the bigger problem. So I understand if you're frustrated with, streaming and, it's all so expensive. Like I absolutely understand that in a world where everything is radically expensive, everything is just costs an arm and a leg, especially for entertainment that used to not be so expensive. I get it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I totally understand, but I also don't think that facilitates or justifies stealing and hurting the creative people behind the content. So,
I agree.
Last question. This is a big one.
Yeah.
Is reverting back to physical media just the true answer? Buy your movies, buy your shows on DVD, and just have them in your library?
Dude, I'm going to say yeah. Because I'm kind of like, there's very few, it's hard because if you want to keep up, if you want to be, this is a little easier with movies. Like if you can keep up with the movie scene without streaming, but the TV scene is really, really difficult because you don't get like an external place like cable to watch TV. But as someone that doesn't watch a ton of TV, like I think it's possible. But I don't think that. And it's kind of that's kind of the whole point. Is this catch-22 of like we have promised the world to so many people that we can't take it away now.
Right.
And so we cannot lead a big enough physical media revolution to make a dent in streaming service pockets. And so like you need to own your stuff physically, but understand that we are not buying physical media to take down the streaming service. We are buying physical media kind of as a just in case.
Right.
Or kind of as a love of the game, as a sport, and as a collector and as a lover of the media. Because I don't think we can physically lead a physical media revolution big enough to dent a streaming service pocket.
No, never. There's too many people who love digital. And that's a bigger problem that we could do a whole other episode on again.
Yeah.
Talking about the people who love streaming and who love digital.
But also
the people who
eat
up the all-digital PS5, right?
But why wouldn't you? Because it's so this is my whole point is we are so sick of streaming, but not so much that we'll give up the convenience.
No, the convenience kills.
And so
like
we're kind of like,
I'm not going to lie. It is kind of nice to have Mario Kart downloaded on the Switch too and be able to have a cartridge in there because I can always switch back and forth between two games. It's nice. It's so tempting to just buy digital games. It is. And I understand the people who fall into that trap.
And I get it.
And it's the same thing for every DVD that you own, every TV show. Why would I buy the DVD and put it in and out the thing when I could just, I could just not.
So that's the answer is, we don't know. Buy physical. Here's the thing. Buy physical for the love of the game, for the love of the art, but understand that streaming's not going away, and we simply just need to do our best to be ethical in the way we spend our money and be ethical in the way we consume.
Yeah, pretty much.
You have free will. Stranger Things dropping 10 episodes in one day doesn't mean you have to watch all of them in one day, okay? You have free will. You're like, oh, but I have to bit. No, you don't. No, you don't.
You really don't.
Watch 1 episode a day, 2 episodes a week. I don't care.
It'll do wonders for your retention time, actually.
Be an adult. Be an adult. Have some self-restraint. Anyway, unless you have anything else to add.
No, I think we're good. We went almost 2 hours again.
Our thorough conversation.
Remember at the beginning of the year when we said the episodes were going to get shorter? And they just started getting longer.
Maybe we'll say that again next year.
We'll say that again in January. Be like, don't worry, guys. We're not going to go over 90 minutes, and then we do like 120.
We'll start doing 2 hours and then release weekly.
I don't got that kind of editing time. I don't know what. I don't know what you're talking about.
Listen. Oh, all right. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Nerdiest Podcast. We hope you have enjoyed. If you love the show, please give us 5-star on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, and please drop a comment down below on what you think about streaming. Just give some general thoughts. Hate, love, what's your favorite, least favorite services? What's the future? Let us know. We would love to hear. Cannot wait to see you in the next episode. It's going to be really special. We cannot wait. It's going to be so good. We'll see you. But until then, bye.